what you're seeing there is a huge brawl that broke out at Miami's International Airport at the gate, near the gate, where passengers were looking to get on a chartered flight. So some of the details of what it was that happened, they're still forming exactly how it went down. But here's some details from NBC News. So the scuffle brought out after police were called to gate H8 shortly after 6:30 over disturbance surrounding a delayed charter flight. That's at the Miami-Dade Police Department told. Officers found a quote unruly passenger who appeared to have taken the keys to an airport golf cart, and he was refusing to let the worker leave. So I guess this is a moment of, well, you're not gonna leave if I can't leave. Well, okay. Probably. Continuing on. It's unclear what exactly unfolded in the moments that led up to that scuffle and the circumstances around the officers drawing of a weapon, which we'll show you in 1 second because that was crazy. But that is being investigated about his movement. So also they arrested a couple people involved in this, and they could be facing some serious fines and penalties and jail time. But first, let's watch the second end of that. Traveling for the holidays, David?
Well, I was gonna make a golf cart pun about this is just how those folks roll, but that wouldn't work. Look, I mean, clearly traveling is a nightmare these days. It's crowded, you gotta wear these masks, it's frustrating, it's not comfortable. People are in a bad mood because of the pandemic and what everybody's been through the last 2 years. So traveling is a mess. Having said that, I'm relieved that because I'm not surprised that fights like this break out. People are frustrated. People take out their aggressions and frustrations. I'm just constantly relieved that people aren't getting seriously hurt, and maybe that says something that, well, okay, it's okay to punch somebody, it's okay to wrestle around on the floor, but it's not okay to pull out a gun and actually shoot somebody. And so if that's the standard, then okay, some people are going to fight, some people are going to scream at each other, but as long as nobody's getting lethal in their force. That's great. I think where it becomes really problematic though is if somebody does say, okay, enough with the fist, now I'm gonna pull out my weapon, which hopefully they wouldn't have because they wouldn't get it past security.
Well, this is definitely since the officer probably knew that did pull out the weapon there and pointed at the guy that charged at him. Then we have a different situation. So he felt threatened, pulled out his weapon, and you have hundreds of other people in the general area. I'd say maybe 100 in that particular space. And that's gonna be tough. So you pull out your weapon, and then what are you gonna do with it? I mean, I'm not sure if police have this thought process, but if you pull out your weapon, maybe use it. They probably have that thought every time they do because they figure, I'm gonna do it now. I don't know if it's there as a thought of let me go ahead and try and calm the crowd down or have them jump back and understand that I could really murder a few people here. Maybe some children that are bystanders that are just trying to get on a flight as well. But that decision just seemed a little bit off for me. Yes, he was being attacked. Yes, he was being snatched around. Yes, the guy was coming at him again. Man, I kind of envisioned how bad that could have ended up if he decided to go ahead and open fire in that crowd to shoot one guy and then get 4 others.
Yeah, and look, I mean, I gotta wonder. I mean, look, some of the people who were fighting were African American. It was a white cop who pulled out a firearm. To me, that just there's some questions right there. Why didn't the cop first, I don't know, pull out a taser or try to de-escalate somehow? It just seems like there is a perception that some law enforcement people who are rather unsophisticated, not well trained, or doing it just because they're sadistic, they seem to go right to, oh, I must assert my authority, my power over anybody, particularly if it's somebody who looks different than me. And they pull out a weapon, and then you have all the dangers of an airport. Really, you're going to pull out a gun in an airport when you know that people don't have weapons there? So yeah, I mean, there's all sorts of problems and troubles with this. I'm sort of curious, where was that charter flight headed? I mean,
so I was wondering, it's a charter flight. Okay, so charter flights, I assume people with a little bit more of a they're not sitting on standby on Southwest. You have
you're taking a charter to Club Med or a charter to Cuba or going to some Grand Cayman or something. Be happy.
Exactly. I was like, these people should be in a good mood. I was thinking, oh, these people been sitting there overnight. Their flight got delayed, canceled, moved on, tickets sold, bumped off, and then they're mad. No, this is a charter flight, bro.
Yeah, I mean, look, I can also understand you put up with everything we put up for the last 2 years, and suddenly your plan to have a fruity adult beverage tonight or drink with a little umbrella in it is ruined because the charter flight got canceled. Yeah, I'd be pissed too. I'd be infuriated, particularly if it was canceled for the wrong reasons or because somebody was inept or they overbooked or there was an engine problem. Sure, but that doesn't mean you start squaring off with people and stealing golf carts.
There has to be a point when you just calm down and know that it's going to be okay.
Check out the Damage Report podcast each day, wherever you get your podcasts, whether Pocket Casts or Stitcher or iTunes. You can join me as I give you the news and stories you want, with a range of co-hosts and interview guests jumping in on the fun each day. Again, that's the Damage Report, wherever you get your podcasts. And if you get them at iTunes, don't forget to rate and review. Sometimes I'll read them live on the show.